12 away from 9. Let's talk about personal finance and how much we're all panicking, thinking of budgets, saving and paying off debt. But is there really some place for some fun? Just working to pay the bills does get a little boring, doesn't it? So how do we still have a bit of money for the fun stuff? Maya Fisher-French, you've answered the prayers of Tumelo Mototwane and I. Finally, we get to talk about some money and some fun. But I feel like you're going to say have some fun, but be responsible and be an adult or something, right? How do we have the nice-to-haves?
I do feel sometimes I come on this show and people are like, oh gosh, and we're going to feel guilty by the end of this. But I had the most fantastic conversation with a family friend on the weekend that I had to share. So she was telling me about her 50th birthday. She had decided at the age of 45 that she wanted a really big 50th bash. So she had taken out an investment at the age of 45, and when she turned 50, this investment had actually done better than she expected. And her financial advisor said to her, you know what, just take out the money that you were planning on spending originally and leave the rest invested. And she said, forget it. She said, the fact that I made extra money, the fact that I have a bonus, I'm going to splurge and spend the whole lot. And she took her whole family on an overseas trip. And I love that story because I think it's important, to sometimes, she had done all the right things. She had planned for it. She hadn't used her credit card. She had done it all correctly. So what if she got an advantage and she had a bonus? Why not? That's what it was there for. And I think we do need to remember to do that and not always be a Scrooge. But you're absolutely right. It comes down to be responsible about it. So she didn't put it on her credit card. She had to have that money in the first place. So there were things that she had to sacrifice on a day-to-day basis in order to have what she really wanted. And I think that's probably the biggest part of having fun, is to say, what is it that I really want to do with my money or with my time? And what are the things that are probably sapping that are not giving me that much enjoyment? And really looking at ourselves and saying, I love this saying, you can have anything, but you can't have everything. So what is it that you really, really want, and what are you prepared to sacrifice for? And I think that's the trade-off.
It's almost like giveth with the one hand, taketh with the other. I heard Maya Fisher-French going, you got a bonus, have a bit of fun. But, and I thought, oh, there it comes. There it comes. There's the but. So where do we start? How do we try and create a goal for ourselves? Because we're all so penny wise at the moment, because we can't be pound foolish. There's no pounds to be foolish with. So where do we try and have a bit of fun and create just one goal, also knowing we're probably all sitting in debt? So how do we get that reality versus what we'd like?
It's such an important point. So firstly, anybody who's ever studied happiness and that will tell you that you don't actually need, well, after a certain level of money, more money doesn't bring you happiness. And what actually brings us happiness is being with our loved ones in nature. So, and you can probably do that for not too much money. So if you think from that perspective, but I do think it's so important to still have fun. And one of the things that we do see in times of difficulty are small items, small luxury items start to do really well. Things like, well, okay, from a woman's perspective, lipstick, perfume. So maybe we can't go and do the big things anymore because we're financially constrained, but we're going to spoil ourselves with some smaller things. So I think that is one way of doing it. But also, even if I do have a holiday slush fund, and that's actually what it's called on my app, on my banking app. It's called the holiday slush fund. And when I have a little bit of extra money, that is where I put it. And sometimes it does mean, okay, I'm not going to go and, buy another pair of shoes or whatever it is, that other things that I'm spending my money on, because I actually want to put more money into my holiday slush fund. So I think it is important that even within this budget constraint that we have something that we're saving towards, something that we're planning towards. And even if it's 4 or 5 years away, and let me tell you, my overseas trip has been pushed out endlessly, not just for financial reasons, but because of COVID. At least you've got something to look forward to. So I do think it's important. I think build it into your budget, even if it's a small amount of money, and give it a name and give it a goal and an idea and just something that you can visualize.
Almost in a sense of irony, I think my team have got a sense of humor this morning, Maya. As you were talking about doing fun stuff and going out and having a good time, they showed the fuel tankers at fuel stations filling up diesel, petrol pumps and fuel pumps. So clearly my team have a sense of humor this morning. That's what I would do for fun, try and find a place where I can afford some fuel.